When she noticed the smile disappeared from Rena's expression, Shion too changed hers. It was as if the cheerful air, that was like a warm spring day until a moment ago, had slipped through the cracks in the paper door, and altogether disappeared. There was no point in regretting it now. We did not come here today to chat and enjoy ourselves. Keiichi came here to be a dumbass and apologize to the wrong fucking person. Shion silently poured the tea. During that time, both Rena and I sat kneeling without uttering a word. Here you are. Drink up. Oh yeah, because that's totally not going to be fucking spiked with some poison. We couldn't even mutter a word of acknowledgement at those natural words of courtesy. There's no poison in it or anything. Do you distrust me that much? That's upsetting. Shion gave a bitter smile at that and let her shoulders droop. That's not how Mion would react. That's just not her. Even like when depressed, Mion wasn't like that. She wouldn't act like that with a joke like that. She would still say it laughingly, in a joking way. Slap Keiichi on the back, that kind of thing. No. 100%. You know what? I'm getting rid of that .001. I'm rounding it up 100%. Carrying the 0. 100. You know what? Fuck it. 101%. Fucking liar. All the ellipses. We all remained silent. Remained silent, hoping that someone else would speak up first. See, I'd be that cocky motherfucker. One also at the gate. I would just say, so Shion, how long have you been acting as Mion? Just to shit all over her parade. Because all you're looking for is just a quick crack in her expression and then you got her ass. And then just say, gotcha. Hope you enjoy. That was, however, the one thing we didn't want to do. And so we sat for a long time. At last, Shion smiled scornfully and opened her mouth to speak. Hey now, Kei-chan, Rena. You're the guests. Didn't you come here for something? If you don't speak up first, this old man won't know what to do. Rena and I exchanged glances, and we both resigned ourselves. Rena opened her mouth to speak first, so I stopped her. Keiichi-kun, it's okay. I needed to come here. Let me talk first. Okay. I understand. What would Kei-chan have to tell me? Please give me your daughter's hand in marriage, maybe? You have a daughter? Not the most important part, but I would definitely fucking propose to Mion. Not the fucking poser. Can't do that. Milo, Rena, and Kei-chan aren't meant for each other. Go wash your face with miso soup and try again later. Oh, you meant... No, fuck off. Oh, no. No interest in Rena. None. None! Afterwards, I thought her mean remarks were Mion's own way of showing consideration. Mion had... God damn it. Shion had said those mean things in a totally normal voice, and it drained the tension from my shoulders. Mion. First, I have something to apologize for. You do? What for? Shion pretended that she didn't know what I was talking about, but I'd clearly gotten my point across. Well, on the night of Watanagashi, the ritual storehouse behind the shrine, I went in there. I could see Shion's expression immediately became harder. I knew it was somewhere I wasn't supposed to go, but it was just supposed to be a little bit of exploration. We didn't mean anything by it. Even so, I still shouldn't have done it. So I apologize. I'm sorry. To display my deepest sincerity, I pressed my forehead to the table. I meant it as my way of prostrating myself. I figure it wouldn't feel sincere enough if I raised my head right away, so I left it there on the table for a while. Shion didn't say anything. With my face down, I couldn't tell what sort of expression Shion had. Only the voices of the cicadas filled the room. Mixed with them, I could hear the sound of the clock ticking. That was all. When I started to struggle to breathe from having my head down for so long, Shion told me to stop. You got me there. I didn't expect you to pitch it to me straight. You've got me on the ropes. I looked up to see that Shion's face was calm, but she was smiling faintly. If you understood that, even though it was only a casual explanation for you, Kei-chan, that there were a lot of people who think it's no laughing matter, then it's okay. There's an old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. It's been days since then. Maybe too late, but I apologize. What I did was wrong. Please forgive me. I could feel pitiful tears welling up within me. If I had done this sooner, maybe nothing terrible would have happened. It's okay. If you know what you did was bad, then that's enough, right? Shion spoke like it was someone else's problem and I wasn't happy about it. Another reason why it's not Mion. Mion would have accepted that. Like, legitimately accepted and actually taken it seriously. Shion never seems to take anything seriously. She always jokes about it, because she takes it too far. She jokes too much, too harshly. Like, whenever she talks about Mion, whenever she jokes about her, it's always just that one step too far. That she doesn't know true ways of spacing out jokes and how to take things seriously. Almost like a sociopath. Oh shit, I just discovered. Shion's a sociopath. Mion is a great person, though. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is apologizing seriously. I think maybe you should respond seriously as well. I am being serious, though. Do I not look serious to you, Rena? You don't. Rena was giving her tit for tat, and so the room's atmosphere quickly began to grow sharper. She was right. Even though I came here to speak from the heart like this, it's felt like she hasn't been taking this seriously. Obviously, Rena isn't fond of that. Keiichi-kun, you can get up now. Let's tell her everything. That looks like what Mi-chan wants too. I had known it would turn out like this from the beginning. Hadn't I come here prepared for that? I mustered my willpower and bit my lip. Mion, you called Rika and Satoko the day before last night, right? I don't remember doing so. If you have a reason to think so, could you let me hear it? It was evening before dinner time. Rika should have come here, bringing a big bottle of soy sauce, to have you share some with her. Shion was trying to keep from showing any reaction, but I didn't miss her eyelids twitching just a little bit. See, that's why I would call her out on that bullshit, and just immediately say, so, how long have you been faking being Mion? Because I guarantee you that'll get you a quick reaction, just a slight one. Slight tell. Why do you think that? It's not hard to understand. Mi-chan, you saw it too, didn't you? Rika's room. Shion put a finger to her forehead and acted like she was thinking. There's chilled tofu, but no soy sauce. Plus the big bottle of soy sauce that would have been found under the sink was nowhere to be found. Ha ha ha. What? Is that why she would have come here? Mion, drop the act. You wrote it yourself on the notice, didn't you? That you'd share your soy sauce. Shion scratched her head. I heard her ever so faintly click her tongue. It was as though we found out she'd purposely given too little change to a servant. That's all I could feel from her. Then Mi-chan, you, Rika-chan, you hit her. Rena hesitated for a moment. I could tell that she didn't want to use the word erased, and that she was struggling to find another word. That was supposed to be the end, wasn't it? For you, anyway. What are you talking about? You didn't foresee that Rika would tell Satoko that she was coming to your house, did you, Mi-chan? Then Satoko called. Might Rika be imposing on you? Yeah, probably just like that. You sound just like her. Mi-chan, you are in a bit of a bind then. Because someone knew that Rika had come here. So you decided to lure Satoko here too. Lure her out? Like how, I wonder? Shion prodded Rena on, as if trying to get to the good part of an interesting story. I, however, knew I had been watching Shion change the whole time. She was restlessly twirling her fingers. She had clearly lost her calm. Of course, it was really a slight thing, and only I, who had been watching her this whole time, would have known. Shion was panicking. What Rena was saying must have been a bullseye. It probably went like this. Satoko, I actually made too much dinner today, so why not come over and eat? Rika came early and already ate some. Something like that? Scratch. Shion's nails dug into her knee. There's no recordings of the phone conversations or anything, so how do you know that much? I know it's because the dinner that Satoko made for the two of them was plastic wrapped in their refrigerator and hadn't been touched. For a few moments, Shion's face was frozen in utter amazement. She looked like she couldn't believe that this person in front of her was Rena. With just that to go on, how did you even guess what we said over the phone? It's a long explanation, so I'll get to the point. The contents of that refrigerator provided a vivid account of what you said over the phone when you lured her out. Shion's jaw remained on the floor. That was the one way I could describe her face. That's... I had no idea I had such an incredible detective right next to me the whole time. I can't believe you'd figured out everything, down to the phone conversation just from what was inside the fridge. You've got me there. You've got me. You've got me. As if a dam had burst, Shion convulsed into laughter. Shion convulsed into laughter. Because she's fucked up, Mion's a good person. The laughter, though, definitely didn't make us want to laugh as well. Shion grew tired of her dumb laughter, heaved a great big sigh, and scratched her head. It almost seemed like Shion had lost a detective punishment game for the club or something, and her punishment had been decided. Oh, how fun that would have been if that were true. An incredible detective. Mi-chan, you're the one who guessed that Oishi told us. He called me an incredible detective too. Soon as she heard Oishi's name, Shion's eyes began to display panic more clearly, so that anyone would be able to tell. Mion, the police have suspected you for a long time now. Oishi's officers have had the house under observation so that they could break in at any time. Shion's attempted to feign calm, but it looked like she was having a hard time with that. Part of her couldn't believe that the police had her surrounded, and she closely examined Rena's facial expression. However, she couldn't detect a hint of falsehood. Finally, Shion seemed to accept the fact that the police were encircling the house. Was the mayor, Mi-chan too? Were Tometake and Takano, you as well? Shion didn't answer our rapid-fire questions. I could clearly see impatience in her eyes, which were still feigning calm. At last, Shion, who had been sitting here lazily, readjusted her cushion and sat herself upright. At that moment, the atmosphere in the room changed completely. Shion's expression also changed. The impatience and wonderment in her expression disappeared, and she became so solemn you would think she was about to conduct a tea ceremony. I could sense it. It was now, in this moment. Shion had ceased to be Shion, but it changed into Shion Sonozaki. The fuck? Stop it. Yeah, okay, I don't care. I will always read that as Shion because Mion isn't like that. I will die believing that is Shion. The current heir to the Sonozaki house. That solemn atmosphere about her was clearly abnormal. It was entirely different from that of the Mion that I knew. I can use Mion there because it's not Mion. Ha ha! Now I could believe it. Believe it! Now I could believe that she was the young leader who commanded the entire Sonozaki clan. Shion quietly placed both her hands on the tatami mat and gave a beautifully elegant bow as if this were really a tea ceremony, and named herself. We meet for the first time. I am the current heir to the Sonozaki house. My name is Mion. Shion's movements were so elegant they could cut, and we couldn't even answer her. Hello, what the fuck is going on? All Rena and I could do was watch, baffled at her actions, which we could never imagine the normal her doing. I would like to welcome you to the Sonozaki main house today. I will greet you all in a place of our leader, Oryu. It seems as though you have various things you would like to ask. If I could be of any assistance, then I would like to answer without concealing anything. What is she, a fucking robot? What? What did Shion just say? Shion said she would answer anything we asked. What did you do with the real Mion? There was a strong light of resolve in her eyes. It's really alright if we ask anything then, right? I shall tell you everything I know. That is why you came here after all. Rena and I exchanged glances. Okay, well fuck it. I'm bringing out the whole personal section. Favorite color? What do you like doing on the weekends? Fuck with her, I don't give a shit. There was a mountain of things we wanted to ask Shion. However, we hesitated for a moment on what we should ask first. The first question Rena gave was extremely abstract, but it was the question everyone wanted to know right now. Why? Why would you do this? That was what I wanted to ask as well. Why would you do this? That didn't only go for Rika and Tatako. It went for the mayor, Takano, and Tomitake as well. Fuck Takano and Tomitake, I don't give a shit about them. No, even further back, for all the incidences that had been occurring every year. For a little while, Shion couldn't respond. Right when we realized that the question was too vague and tried to put it into more concrete terms, she finally opened her mouth to speak. To answer that question will take some time. If that is acceptable, however, then I would by all means like you to hear it. She spoke clearly. She spoke with clarity that a grandmother might use when telling a story from a long time ago. Do you know that Hinamizawa village used to be called Onagafuchi village? Rena nodded slightly, then shot me a glance asking me if I did. I returned her nod. I don't like this music. Don't make me feel feelings for Shion. Because I won't. I never will. Especially if she's fucking hurt Mion. Oh no. No feelings can be had towards her. Hinamizawa was once called Onagafuchi village, yes. I had heard all about that the night from Takano in the ritual storehouse. Which I wish I hadn't. They firmly believed that the demon blood ran through their veins and cut off all contact with the outside world. They were worshipped by those in the village at the foot of the mountains and treated like transcendents, those capable of magic. Oh, this music, no. Oh, too sad. That's right, our ancestors in Onagafuchi village were proudly transcendents descended from the demons. Those in the villages at the foot of the mountain worshipped and honored them. Nevertheless, that all decayed with the end of the Tokugawa era. The black ships arrived. The era of the samurai ended. The era of the national isolation ended. And the tradition of worshipping Onagafuchi village quickly disappeared. Those things that linger from the past were all to be detested. That was the kind of era it became. The Meiji era began in the name of the Onagafuchi village, with its long history, was forcibly changed to Hinamizawa village. I have heard the Meiji government strongly wished to erase the old customs. The abolition of feudal domains and the establishment of prefectures. An era had begun seeing Japan sprinting up the stairs that were beyond their means to try and reach the same level of the rest of the world. All things in Western style were to be extolled, while all old traditions were to be scorned. That was the sort of era it was. Our ancestors in Onagafuchi villages were proud transcendents descended from demons. Onagafuchi village disappeared in a flash. At last, Japan, provoked by the great European powers colonizing countries in Asia, one by one began a policy to increase its wealth and military power, so that it could stand as a global power in its own right. Conscription began, and they won war after war. The First Sino-Japanese War, and the Russo-Japanese War, and until the Pacific War broke out. They recklessly climbed the staircase towards modernization. At that time, Onagafuchi village had already lost its impenetrability. Villagers once worshipped as transcendents were now on the receiving end of inhuman treatment. The sacred Onagafuchi village had been groundlessly labeled an isolated village for those affected with incurable diseases, a mere shadow of its former self, and stood on the principle of an era of hardship. Thus began the harsh days where one would suffer unreasonable discrimination just because people knew one was from Onagafuchi. The children in the village at the foot of the mountain were taught not to go near Hinamizawa because of filthy germs were rampant there. Children who had come into contact with children in Hinamizawa would cry and wail as their parents purified the spot they were touched by rubbing salt on it. That's fucked up. One of the adults said to the children that if you got lost in Hinamizawa, you would be kidnapped by demons, cut out into pieces, and devoured. Never ever go near the terrifying village of man-eating demons. That's what he taught them. Another said that during a famine long ago, the people of Hinamizawa gathered up all the corpses they discarded into the dry riverbeds, then cooked and ate them in order to survive. Groundless stories, but said in such seriousness. God, that's fucked up. Baseless slander added to baseless slander, making Onagafuchi village's historically accurate, thrilling history all the more believable. Perhaps the chain of undue discrimination was a manifestation of people's anxiety towards the uncertain times. Of course, the story didn't end with only the perspective of children. If anyone found out you were from Onagafuchi, you would be turned down from any job you applied for. Oh God. People would ever go back on engagements and marriage proposals. As for marriages where one partner had lied about it, as soon as the truth got out, they were made to divorce. God, that's fucked up. It even caused trials. They would appeal that they would appeal that where one came from wasn't an important enough reason to divorce. I mean, that's true. They would, however, lose their case. Wow. Wow, that's fucked. That's really fucked up. Lying about one's birthplace apparently constitutes a heavy act of misrepresentation in marriage. Like, I could see if you just say, oh yeah, I was born in Romania and Russia. Instead you were born in, you know, Yugoslavia or Siam. I mean, that's more important, but when you're just talking about villages in the same country, it's like, come on. It's like if I claimed, oh, I was born in Manhattan, but really was born in Buffalo. It's like, get over yourself. That's not a big deal. That's terrible. I've heard about such discrimination towards those in small villages in civics class. Just because others knew you were from a tiny hamlet, you would be subjected to every societal disadvantage there was, a modern form of bullying. Though I only memorized that because it was going to be on a test one time. I recalled being suspicious about it and unable to believe such discrimination occurred in modern Japan. Well, I suppose I can't say that they weren't asking for it. Our ancestors were proud of demon blood flowing through them. They lived their lives boasting about it and scorning those at the foot of the mountain after all. They struck fear into the villagers down there with their mystique and demanded gifts of dread and tribute. But that Mion smiled for the first time, albeit in self-mockery. Oh god, you know what? I think I'm gonna be done. I'm starting to really read stuff screwed up. I'm tired of shit. It is 3:42 in the morning. Tired of shit. I'll finish this shit sometime. I don't know if I'm even close to the final. I hope I am. It seems like it's getting closer to the crescendo. Hope you guys enjoyed this long hour and a half, 2 hours I was recording. I don't even know how long I've been recording for. Make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, do that shit. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, I'm sorry. And stay tuned for next time. And that's all I got for you. I'm too tired to actually think. Oh, and this is still Shion. Fuck you. Fuck you. I will remember that.